Folks, how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to my channel. I am True Fernie. Today, I want to talk about a few things. It's been a while. I know I've taken a little bit of an unofficial hiatus from the gaming channel, but I've been working a lot. I've been working a lot on my sneaker channel. If you didn't know, I have a sneaker channel over on YouTube called @True where I review. I talk about anything and everything sneakers, and sneakers. Growing up, I played basketball for such a long time up until college, and sneakers were a part of basketball. They were a huge part of it, and I've been in love with sneakers ever since then. So I would definitely appreciate if you check out my sneaker channel. I've been really going really hard on that, but I want to talk about one specific game that came out recently. I think like almost 2 months now, and that is a game that I've been waiting for with bated breath, and that is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I actually had the opportunity to play that game early at PAX West over at Seattle, Nintendo Live sort of event. I don't even want to call it a convention. And ever since then, I was hooked with the game. I was like, this is a day one purchase. This is a great game. But how about we go straight into it? The pros on Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's been ages since we got another installment in the 2D Super Mario franchise series, what to call it. I kind of fell off Super Mario Bros. The 2D series way back in the day. I'm talking, I haven't played or I haven't really enjoyed thoroughly a 2D Super Mario since Super Mario World. Like, that's when my love affair with 2D Mario started, and that's when it ended. Because since then, I felt that the 2D Mario World, the 2D series, kind of was put in the back burner from Nintendo. You got, of course, Super Mario Bros. 3D World. You got all these other iterations of Super Mario, but when it came to the 2D series, it always felt like a recycled version of the past. Every single time, especially throughout the Wii and the Wii U era, I was not at all excited about playing a 2D Mario. But it wasn't until this year, 2023, when we got the announcement and we got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which, thank God, my main pro with this game is that they switched it up. They switched up the art style. They added so many new assets, so many new elements to the game. Not just the gameplay, but in general, the feel of the game just feels completely new. It feels like a entirely new game, which the Wii and the Wii U 2D Mario games should have felt that way for a long time, but it just felt like, yeah, it just felt recycled. Now, I really do hope going forward that Nintendo doesn't use the same art style in Mario Wonder and just continuously recycles it, where they continuously put out the same game with the same art style. They add a few pieces here and there, but fundamentally it is the same game. I don't want that. I don't want Nintendo to be doing that. They have no reason to keep on doing that, especially with seeing just how much of a positive response switching up things, switching up the art style a little bit has given them with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So those are my hopes going forward for the 2D franchise, 2D series for Mario. But how about let's talk about another pro that I really like about this is the movement. It feels very responsive. It feels amazing. It's very bouncy. It's very clicky. It just feels that if you do make a mistake in this game, it was entirely your fault. You don't get punished unfairly because the movement is just that sticky. It is that good. It is very concise, and it really does respond pretty well to your input. So everything feels bouncy, everything feels floaty, which I know some people might not entirely like that. Floaty games tend to be a little bit harder to get used to, especially if you're a fan of 2D platformers. Floaty doesn't necessarily mean good for a lot of people, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The controls are classic 2D Mario platforming, jumping, running, dashing. There are some abilities that have been added to this game in the form of badges, which give you some unique powers, such as being able to use your cap to float through larger areas of the game. There's other badges that give you infinity, bounciness, and so on and so forth. I'm not a big fan of them. I found myself using just the cap one, the floaty cap one, because it is one, I want to say, one of the more useful ones, because it's very tied to the classic 2D Mario gameplay loop. So I stuck with that one. It just felt a lot better. It felt more like a dash jump more than anything. And yeah, I didn't find a lot of usefulness in the other badges. Yeah, you know, for some of the more harder kind of like secret special sort of stages, which I'll talk about a little bit more, some of the other specialized badges, yeah, of course, they helped a lot with the one that made you bounce nonstop. There was a specific secret level where that helped quite a lot to time your jumps and whatnot. But besides that, I the only one I ever found myself was using the floating cap one. Kind of wish they had implemented some of those badges more during the design of the levels, because you know they just feel they just not very useful in the grand scheme of the game. So yeah, very far few in between the times that I actually used all of the badges. I will also add that the worlds are very unique. The addition of wonder flowers are, you know, a bucket of water over what's been a pretty boring series for quite a long time, in my opinion. Don't relax. So adding the wonder flowers in a way that just completely changes the platforming, completely changes the gameplay, completely changes the world. Like there were times where the worlds just turned into this sort of like over the top 2D sort of games that kind of were very reminiscent of I want to say I can't remember the exact Sonic game, but there was a mini game where you collected little orbs as Sonic for with the over the top view. Can't quite remember the name. I'll probably edit it in. It reminded me of that. There were other parts where you basically turn into a slime and you gotta like stick to walls and do all this sort of crazy stuff. And sometimes it was as simple as basically a rush level. If you played Super Mario Maker, you know what a rush level are. Those are the kind of like automatic levels where you basically don't even move your character and the level just kind of takes you through it. There's one with these sort of like bulls. I don't even know what to call them, but they look like bulls, like or like bison, buffalo. And then you basically just ride the backs of this horde of bison, these animals, and they take you through the level. Of course, there's a little bit more challenge than just an automatic level, so to speak. So I really do appreciate that simpleness and that in the way that Wonder Flower would sometimes convert the world. And at the same time, there was also some complexity further along you played the game, how some of these worlds transformed into. So it was a really nice addition, I think, to the Mario series. And I said I don't want them to continue recycling the Wonder series, but I kind of hope that the same ideas kind of translate further along the series, and that twist in the worlds is still part of the gameplay going forward. Wonder Flowers, again, I said that they changed and added so much from the gameplay that, you know, I actually looked forward to finding these things. Like they're somewhat of a collectible in a sense. They're not necessary for you to beat the levels throughout the game, but it just made it a mission of itself trying to find these wonder flowers, because they were just so fun. It was always like opening up a box of chocolates. You just never knew what you were going to get, so it was always very exciting. And as I said, I really hope that the Nintendo, that the 2D Mario team continues that trend of switching it up and adding a twist to every single 2D level. So I'm really happy for that. However, I will say that there were some cons with this game. The game is there are some challenging parts of the game, I will say, which makes this game fun, but overall it's a rather easy game. It is an easy game. I beat this game in less than 2 days, and I wasn't even like really playing it. I would play for like 1 or 2 hours at a time, put it down, go do my thing, live life, come back later in the day, play it another 3 hours, and so on and so forth, that I was over with it in like 2 or 3 days, like throughout the weekend that it came out. I got it on a Friday, finished it on a Sunday. I didn't 100% it. Of course, I've kind of gone back and trying to 100%, and it is challenging when you're trying to 100% it, but overall, it's a walk in the park. There are some challenging levels, but most of them aren't necessary for you to beat the game. So that sort of did leave me a little bit unsatisfied with the game. I felt that they could have improved a lot more in the challenge part of it, because I mean, if I remember correctly, Super Mario World was a pretty challenging game. And if I'm not mistaken, the first, second, third games on the 2D series of Super Mario are rather challenging games as well. So I kind of found myself a little, wanting a little bit more. And of course, I can go back and I can change it up. I can add different badges, complete the levels with a bunch of different abilities and whatnot, trying to like do a no hit, whatever, whatever. But then you find yourself in this sort of like self-imposed challenge rather than making it the designer's choice for it to be challenging and for it to to actually make you feel rewarded for beating some of these levels. So yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointment, I should say. But again, there is still the ability to make the game challenging. There are some challenging extra secret levels that you kind of unlock when you're playing throughout the game, and I will say those are challenging. Like there's a few ones that I just had to put down because I couldn't beat them. They were pretty hard. All in all, that is probably my biggest complaint of Super Mario Wonder. It is a rather too easy, and believe me, I'm not a pro MLG gamer, whatnot. Like I need my baby games. Like I enjoy these sort of like walk in the parks type of games. That's why I like Pokemon. But it's still at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but 2D platforming is, in a sense, it's meant to be challenging. In a sense, it's meant to like, the reward isn't the challenge of you completing that challenge. So it left me wanting a little bit more. So all in all, I even though I thoroughly enjoyed the game, the difficulty was definitely one of the biggest misses in my opinion with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Going forward, I already said I hope Nintendo still implements some of that twist and turns that the Wonder Flowers kind of gave to some of the maps, some of the levels, some of the maps. What am I, 90 years old? But at the same time, I hope they don't recycle and keep using Mario Bros. Wonder art style themes and really punching that as far as the art style goes, as much as they did with New Super Mario Bros, Wii U, all that stuff, where it's just more of the same, different levels, but still kind of, they all felt kind of like the same game. I hope they don't do that, because it'll really put me off the 2D Mario series pretty quickly, much like it did after I finished playing Super Mario World back in the SNES days. But folks, you let me know down in the comments below what you think of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We've had it for a couple of months now. One of the most anticipated Mario games for this year. I am playing through Super Mario RPG, the remake. This is my first time playing that game ever. I never got the chance to play it on the original console. So I'm enjoying it for the most part. I'm not a big RPG fan, unless it's Pokemon. So it's kind of like teetering in between, whether I like it, it really is my thing, or it really isn't. I'm still figuring it out, but I will talk about that game a little bit more, especially before we end this year, because I kind of want to I want to get more back into the swing of things when it comes to gaming. There's a lot of things that have been coming out. I finished Spider-Man 2, great game, but I still want to talk about it. I also, hey, if you're watching this and you're a content creator, you're a gaming content creator, someone that's serious about content creation, I want to reboot my Search and Report podcast with a co-host, someone who's passionate, someone who's really in the industry and wants to work together. Please send me a message, a DMs, a comment down below with some of your work. Let me know, because I really want to collaborate, and I really want to build a relationship and make something great. So let me know down in the comments below. But folks, I've been True Fernie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, because believe it or not, every single bit helps. Links to my socials are down below. Please make sure to follow me on Threads, not Twitter. Twitter is dead to me. Don't ever talk to me about that damn site. Follow me on Threads, where I spend most of my waking hours talking about gaming, sports, mostly sports, sneakers, anime, TVs, movies, anything that might interest you as my viewer. But folks, please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself. And wahoo, as they say in the Mushroom Kingdom. I don't know. Peace.